This morning that Mr. Harper had indicated that he was ill, and I know Mr. Harper has undergone some health issues in the past, so I don't doubt that. But the problem that the state had seen is on previous occasions, Mr. Harper had appeared in court and had notified the court, when I say in the court, in county court in front of Judge Sullivan, and had notified the court that he was not going to do preliminary hearings in county court. Well, I've heard several reasons. The last reason was that he felt that county court didn't have jurisdiction to hear preliminary hearings. I disagree with that. I think county court does have jurisdiction to hear preliminary hearings. I've been district attorney for 13 years. County court has always done preliminary hearings for felony offenses. And a lot of times, the attorneys would rather it be, the defense attorneys would rather it be in county court because you do have an attorney hearing the preliminary hearing, where in justice court you may or may not. And so a lot of defense attorneys would rather have the preliminaries in county court, and they've always been following county court. But I was not in the courtroom the last time that Mr. Harper showed up. But my understanding is Judge Sutherland attempted, asked him several times to present the case for the state, and Mr. Harper basically said, I wanted to be on the record that I refused to be involved in this case. So he basically said, well, it's not going to do it. Now, as far as specific reasons for why he's not doing it, I guess you'll have to ask Mr. Harper about that. But the result of that, excuse me, the result of that was that 2 felony cases were dismissed. Judge Sutherland had no option, since the state, no one was going forward for the state. Judge Sutherland had no option but to dismiss 2 felony cases. And we've already heard from the victim in one of those cases be fairly upset that the case was dismissed. So of course that causes some concern on my part, because ultimately all those cases are coming to us, and we're going to have to answer to the victims as to why cases are dismissed. So that's when I heard that there were additional preliminary hearings set for today. I wanted to make sure that I was present and saw what was going on with the cases. Of course, we were unable to go forward today. But I have with me, and I can give y'all copies. These are the 2 cases that were dismissed by the county court judge for Mr. Harper's refusal to cooperate. So y'all can see that there are actually a couple of cases that were dismissed. And of course, all cases are important to the district attorney's office, but today, one of the cases that was set for preliminary hearing today was a drive-by shooting. The other was the leaving the scene of the accident in which death occurred. And then there was a third, there was a DUI 4th offense. And of course, our primary concern is the safety of the citizens of Warren County, and just not showing up to do preliminary hearings and allowing defendants to be released from jail causes some serious concern on our part as far as the district attorney's office. And I can also give you, this really came to a head back in August, early August, and I prepared a letter along with Attorney General's opinions for Judge Sutherland for our position as far as whose responsibility it is to perform preliminary hearings, and I think it's clear by the Attorney General's opinions that are attached to my letter that it's the county attorney's responsibility. Now, in full disclosure, when Mr. Johnson was county prosecuting attorney, we did a lot of preliminary hearings for Mr. Johnson. But if you read these opinions, the opinions indicate, and the case and the statutes provide, that if we enter into a written agreement with the county attorney, then the county attorney can actually prosecute cases on our behalf, felony cases, and we can operate on his behalf his or her behalf, on cases in justice court and county court. But I was told pretty early on by Mr. Harper when he was elected that he was not going to enter into any type of agreement with us to do any work with us. So that he indicated to me that his work in justice court, youth court, and I guess at that time he was thinking county court, kept him so busy that he was unable to accept any cases from us. And I'll tell you how that happens. We have conflict sometimes. Either my ADAs, now I've been here long enough now that I don't run into much of it, but my ADAs may have represented somebody in the past that now we're prosecuting, and we feel uncomfortable, or we feel it wouldn't be proper for us to go forward with it. So we'd ask the county attorney to handle that case for us. And Mr. Johnson, Ricky Johnson, would do that routinely. But we had a written agreement with Mr. Johnson, but we had no such written agreement with Mr. Harper. He indicated that he would not have the opportunity to help us. So that's kind of where we are on it right now.
What's the next step from here?
Just show up on the 13th and see what happens on the 13th. I mean, that's, ultimately, well, I'll put it this way: I'm not gonna let the citizens of Warren County suffer for someone failing to do their job. So ultimately, if it comes down to it, we will do what we have to do to make sure that the citizens are safe. But in the meantime, we're going to try to see if Mr. Harper will do his job. And we'll show up and conduct the preliminary hearings like he is supposed to. But my office is not going to allow continued dismissal of cases because a prosecutor won't show up.
Has Mr. Harper been receiving his full paycheck?
As far as I know, he has.
So he's been getting his paycheck and not performing the duties of his office?
That's what it appears to me, yes.
Okay.
I mean, it appears, okay. Yes, it appears to me that that's the case. I mean, there's already been a split between, the county's already had to appoint a youth court prosecutor. And so he's no longer doing the youth court work that was done by the prior county prosecutors. And now he's indicated that he doesn't want to do any county court work either.
What does that leave if he's not doing county court work and he's not doing youth court?
Justice court, which is traffic violations, misdemeanor crimes, those types of things.
And have those cases been addressed?
I was asking that myself because we are almost never in justice court. And so I'm not over there, but I was kind of questioning that today, and it appears so far that those are being handled. But I don't know that person. I just told that.
Are you?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Does this have anything to do with the ongoing litigation between Mr. Harper and the Board of Supervisors?
My personal opinion about that? Absolutely. I think it's got everything to do with it.
Okay.
I think, in fact, when we first started speaking, I said I've heard multiple reasons of why he's not handling cases in county court. That is one of the reasons I've heard he's not handling cases in county court is he believes he has a conflict with the judge. Which, and I think Judge Sutherland was right on point on what she said today. If he has statutory authority or Attorney General's opinions or any other evidence that county court does not have jurisdiction to hear preliminary hearings, then he needs to file a motion regarding that or an appeal of Judge Sutherland's order saying that she does. And then the circuit court judge, either Judge Terry or Judge Cheney, will review that and make a determination of that. He doesn't have the right just to say, you don't have jurisdiction and I'm not going to show up. And the court say I do have jurisdiction, and then you just don't show up. I mean, you don't have that. I mean, if he disagrees with the ruling of the court, he has, just as Judge Sullivan said today, he has the absolute ability to be able to get another judge to look at that and make that determination. But just to say you're just not going to do it is kind of mind-boggling to me. Just to tell a sitting judge that I don't care what you say, I'm just not going to do it. Because he does have avenues. Or if he believes that, and there's some other legal situations here. I mean, he can argue that the proper place to file them is in justice court. If he's still doing justice court, then that's an option. But you need to file something in county court to ask that those cases be remanded back to justice court. You can't just say, I'm not going to do it. He's got multiple legal avenues to address this if he truly believes, if his position truly is that county court does not have jurisdiction over preliminary hearings, then he has multiple legal avenues. That he can either appeal a decision, ask for remands back to justice court, but to just say, I'm just not going to do it. I've never found that in any of our rules. I'm just not going to do it.
But was that his position prior to his brief hiatus from his elected role?
And again, kind of full disclosure, let me go back, because we have actually